The Exile by Peter Essex. Heidi Muller was careful to hide her smile from Ezekiel. She was fully aware of his frustration regarding her modus operandi. He was the one, after all, who usually ended up cold and muddy. She had in fact seen those hungry anvil-headed thunderclouds shouldering out the afternoon sun, consuming the golden rays in their fat black bellies. A royal babe was going to be born at the kraal some 35 miles to the west, so in spite of the distant booming clouds and the oncoming storm, and in spite of Ezekiel's obvious disapproval, they had driven westward, no thought for anything but the destination, the birth. And a while later, Ezekiel had not had time to check just how much later their impertinence to the Akanjo had been punished. The storm had hit them with the ferocity of a charging buffalo, overwhelmed them, trampled upon them, and stopped them dead in their tracks. Andaktola had reacted in frustration. Ovambalusi octave katoka le lua ikano la luz. The engine has been cursed to eternal damnation. The engine's dead, Ezekiel. Now what are we going to do? It's no good trying to start it up in this infernal rain. And don't look so smug, young man, or you'll get out and push. It was black everywhere apart from the snapping lightning, but you did not have to see his face to know that it was set in his martyred I told you so expression. In turn, he knew her well enough to realize that her wrath was contrived. She was low on his list when it came to weather prophets, but there would be no pushing, not then. She was not mad. Ezekiel, how long do you think this will keep up? It is a great storm. He had the African knack of talking politely around a question he couldn't answer. The rain was streaming through the windscreen now as if the glass were absorbent. The hammering on the roof of the cab was deafening. At any moment it seemed it must tear apart. She shouted, "How far do you think the kraal is? We've already crossed the Odila River. It must be very close now." Ezekiel thought about it. If he said the kraal was close, she would probably try and walk the distance. "I do not think we were meant to reach the place tonight." He emphasized, "not tonight." As if in concurrence, as to reinforce his wisdom, a brilliant thunderbolt exploded so near that they could smell the ignited air before it was blown away. The track ahead, visible in the amethyst instant, had transformed itself into a river. The deluge thrashed on and on. "The kraal must be close," Dr. Muller shouted. "Very close." Then with African suddenness, it was all over. Above them a sickle moon glowed, and all around them water vapor from the still warm earth rose in a mist that cut visibility to only a few paces. Dr. Muller lifted the celluloid side curtain, and the night sounds of the bush greeted her. She could hear a lone hyena heckling the rear guard wind squall, the octave hopping notes of a hungry spotted owl. She kicked off her shoes and splashed down into the mud streaming flowing past the truck, feeling its invisible ebb against her ankles. Not able to see it, perhaps the headlights would work again. She reached into the cab and worked the control toggle. The lights came on at once, cutting a yellow cone ahead of them into the soggy, musty woodland. On a slight rise, a diorama was illuminated that should never have seen the light. Half man, half lion, a figure knelt there, mane lank with rain. A mask for a face. It was killing a baby. Arched across a muscular thigh, suffocating in a clutch of oozing, choking red mud, was an infant. As light trespassed, the mask lifted, seemed to draw back into a snarl, then burst into a roar of fury. Then the figure was running, scrambling and slipping in a muddy panic, the infant grasped by the ankle, like a rat doll.